Guten Tag! Heute mache ich Frankfurter Kranz. Today I'm making Frankfurter Kranz. Frankfurter Kranz is a delicious German cake packed with layers of vanilla cake, marmalade, fresh pastry cream, and coated with hazelnuts all over. It's so good, so delicious, and I'm so excited to share it with you today. So, I'll show you my recipe. Los geht's! Okay, so to make our Frankfurter Kranz, first and foremost, it started out by preparing the cake. So the cake is really simple. What I did is I combined my oil and my sugar in a bowl and whisked it together until it was smooth. Then I added in a couple of whole eggs and kept whisking. Then I added some almond extract and kept on whisking until it was all well incorporated. And then in rotations, I added my buttermilk and my flour. So I added a little bit of flour and whisked and a little bit of buttermilk. And I kept going until everything was completed. I popped this in the oven to bake for about 30 to 35 minutes, 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, once it was cooled, I cut it into 3 layers as it is now. So now it's time to start assembling our Frankfurter Kranz. So what I have here is some jam, this homemade strawberry-rhubarb jam, and also I have some pastry cream that I've already pre-prepared. If you don't know how to make pastry cream, be sure to check out my video on how to make a great pastry cream. So first and foremost, I'm going to start with the bottom layer. So I'm just going to set my other 2 layers aside here. And what I'm going to do is take some of my jam and just pile it on in about 3 sections, just like that. And then, which is the butter knife, I'm just going to smooth it. So just want to create a nice thin layer of jam, not too thick, but also not too thin. We want to be able to taste it, but keep in mind that we are going to be adding it to the next layer too, so we don't have to go crazy here. I absolutely love this cake because it is so beautiful in presentation with the hazelnuts coated on the outside and the layers of cream and jam. It's so beautiful, but it's actually not so difficult to prepare. I think the most time-consuming part is just putting together the layers, but if you know how to complete a layer cake, if you've ever prepared a layer cake before, then it actually will not be too complex for you. That's good news. Okay, so I have prepared my makeshift little pastry bag here, which is using a Ziploc bag, and I'm just going to cut off a little tip of the end, just like that. And then I just want to pipe my pastry cream right on top in just a thin line. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to try and keep it in somewhat of a layer, you know what I mean, without it being incorporated, so that way we can see the different layers. Okay, so now I'm just going to smooth it a little bit with my knife, just to bring this side to that side. Beautiful, looks so good already. Okay, so now time for the next layer. So I'm just literally going to take my next layer of cake and press it gently on top, just like that. Ooh, that looks so good already. So again, I'm going to take some more of my delicious homemade jam, my marmalade, and just spread it over. And yes, there is traditional jam used, sometimes strawberry or raspberry or cherry jam, but I am just using what I have on hand and what I think tastes good. So actually, feel free to take some creative liberty with this recipe if you have a favorite type of jam, because I definitely think it's really a personal preference thing. But it might not be the original version of it, but we can get creative and make it taste like how we want it to taste. Alright, so I'm just spreading out the jam, these rhubarb chunks, onto my cake. Beautiful. That looks so good already. And again, I'm going to take some of my pastry cream and just pipe it gently right on top. And we don't want to go crazy because I still want to actually be able to cut into this guy. And if I put too much pastry cream, then it will be kind of difficult to cut. I speak from experience. So I'm just gently spreading it out just to kind of connect it together, just like that. because all along the edges and all along the outside, I'm going to add more of my pastry cream and actually decorate it with my delicious hazelnuts. So, and I'm just going to press that down. Beautiful. Now it's time to coat everything with the remaining pastry cream. So what I'm going to do is just start by taking a little bit of my pastry cream and placing it right on top. And then I'm just going to take my knife and just spread it, just like that. And I like to use the pastry cream because it's a little bit thicker than normal pudding, but you could definitely use a buttercream if you preferred. But I really like the light taste of a pastry cream. I think it makes it taste not too heavy. So I'm going to keep on going with this until it's fully iced, and then it'll be time to add our delicious hazelnuts. So good. Okay, so now that I have fully iced with pastry cream my delicious Frankfurter Kranz, it's time for my krokant, or my delicious hazelnuts. So what I did is I kind of caramelized these hazelnuts until they're nice and crispy and sweet, and they're literally going to cover this whole cake. So excited. This is one of the best parts about this cake, is that if you are not so neat with the decorative, these krokants cover a multitude of flaws. So I'm just going to literally sprinkle them all over, because literally they coat the whole cake. Okay, so now I have my cake completely covered with the krokants, all of our delicious hazelnuts, and as you can see, it's really beautiful. I really love the decoration. So now, what I've already started doing is I piped with my makeshift pastry bag here already a little bit of a dollop of my pastry cream. So I'm just going to continue to do so, just to kind of create a little bit of a symmetrical uniform. Just like that. Just a little dollop, press, and lift. And we press down, and we gently lift up. That one's trying to take some of the hazelnuts with it. Again, one more time, press down, and we lift up. Beautiful. So, depending on the size of your cake, you would add more or less, but considering that my cake is quite small, I just need about 8 little dollops. So then, I also have some fresh cherries. Now, traditionally, the Frankfurter Kranz has maraschino cherries, but it's cherry season where I am, so I figured why not use the fresh ones. So I've already de-pitted them to make it more enjoyable, the eating process. And I am just going to gently place them right on top. It has some nice big cherries too. Just like that. Beautiful. I love this cake because really it is a showstopper. When your guests see it, I mean, they will think, wow. So I really love preparing it, and it's actually not as complex as you would think, right? I hope that you have that impression of it now, that it's not a super complex cake to make. So, there we have it, all done and ready to go. Our delicious homemade Frankfurter Kranz. Beautiful, if I do say so myself. So, I'm actually going to pop this in the refrigerator before I serve it, so they can chill for just a couple hours, but it's just that simple. So, thank you so much for watching this video on how to make Frankfurter Kranz. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you give it a try for yourself in your home kitchen. And until the next video, I can't wait to see you next time. See ya!